All right, so a couple of my students asked me to go over trach stuff with them. When we were in clinical, pulled out a trach and is still in the package, and we started going over the pieces. All right, this is not much different than what you guys went over in class. You've got your outer cannula here. You've got the plate there, or the flange. That flange is going to sit outside on the part of the neck, like right here in this picture. That's where the flange sits. Now, obviously, you're going to want something under that flange as cushioning. Otherwise, you're going to have plastic rubbing against skin breakdown, not good. So that's where you put your, either your designed piece of cotton that has a slit in it already, or you just take a couple 2x2s, fold them in half, and put them underneath there and put your ties on. You're good to go. Okay, right here you've got your cuff inflated, and you know that your cuff is inflated because your pilot balloon right there is inflated, which would be down here in the animated picture. Cuff is inflated, pilot balloon would be inflated. That's what tells you that the cuff is inflated. You can't see it because it's inside the neck. Here's your disposable inner cannula. If you have a metal one, you clean it with a pipe cleaner. Haven't seen too many of those recently. It's usually these disposable ones that come in an individual pack. You pinch the little wings, it pulls out, you put the new one in, bada bang, you're done. All right, obturator right here. Think of the obturator like the stylet on your IV cannula. In the needle, you put the needle in, you push over the outer cannula into the vein, pull out the needle, bada bang, you're done. All right, that's what the obturator is. It goes inside this disposable cannula when you're putting the whole thing in. All right. Fenestrations like you see right here. All right. If they have a fenestrated inner cuff or outer cuff, they have to have a fenestrated outer cannula. It only works if the inner cannula is fenestrated. Otherwise, you have a solid straw inside the straw with the holes in it, and air can't pass out of this area right here over the vocal cords to produce sound. So your inner cannula also has to be fenestrated if your outer cannula is fenestrated to allow them to talk with this thing in if the balloon is inflated. Okay? Let's see. Look at the rounded tip on your obturator right there. Okay? Right here you see it, and right here you see it. That obturator goes inside the inner cannula, okay, and goes all the way down so that basically there's a rounded tip when you're inserting the cannula itself. That keeps it from brushing up against or pushing up against the tender cartilage that's underneath there, and it gives it a rounded tip to go in with, and then you pull the obturator out. Now, if your outer cannula is inflated, you don't put the obturator in place, because like with this patient right here, you see that the outer cannula, the balloon is inflated. The pilot balloon would be inflated. If you put the button over this thing, or you put the obturator in, no air is going across this thing, and the person's going to suffocate. So when the balloon is inflated, obturator does not go in, button does not go on. Trying to think. You're wanting to keep your balloon, and I'm looking right at the table on 27.5, which is page 508 of your book. If you guys are reading the book, keep the cuff pressure at about 20 millimeters of mercury, or 25 centimeters of water. It's usually measured in millimeters of mercury. All right. Again, if you look down there, you're looking at your bullet points. You got to never. We never say never, but you never insert the decannulation plug, which is that right there, okay, in the tracheostomy tube until the cuff is deflated. Otherwise, they're not getting air. Not sure what other parts she went. Oh, one of the things she probably talked about was before if this if the cannula has been in place for a while with the balloon inflated, the patient can actually build up secretions and other junk right up here in this area. All right. So before you let the air out of the inflated cuff, you're going to want to have them cough or suction them to get any kind of buildup that's sitting around in here out. Otherwise, the moment you deflate this cuff, that stuff just flushes right down into the lungs. Okay, if it's been sitting there for a while, it's pretty nasty. Get bacteria buildup. Not a good scene for anybody. If you look on page 510, you can see that D there. That's a gentleman who actually has the pre-made little piece of 2x2 almost with a slit in it. Now you don't cut them. If they don't have a slit, you take 2x2, 2x2s, just fold them in half and put them underneath the flange and between the skin. Ties. Put the new ties on, then take the old ties off, because I promise you, you can have a patient who hasn't coughed in 18 years. The second you take the old ties off without putting the new ties on first, they're going to cough, and the thing's going to fly across the room. Not sure that there's a whole lot more I can talk about. Don't know if she got into the passing mirror valve. If she did, you guys can ask me about that. I don't know how deep she went into this. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful, and I wanted to keep it short. So I'm going to stop there.